Most people believe they are independent thinkers and their opinions are their own. Like, I own my opinion. They believe that whatever decision they make is their own. They believe their values are their own. They believe their preferences are their own. They believe their perspective, their worldviews are their own. And maybe they are right to an extent, but let me ask you something. How do you know? How do you know that the things you believe are conclusions you've carefully arrived at by your own thinking, by your own reasoning, and not simply ideas that you've been exposed to 1,000 times? Think about it. Nobody is born wanting to wear designer clothes. Nobody is born believing that a wedding must cost millions of naira. Nobody is born believing that success means owning a Benz, living in a mansion, vacation to Dubai, to Marrakesh, to, that kind of a thing. Yet somehow millions of people end up chasing same picture. But why? Who taught us? How did we end up here? When did we all agree? Because I don't remember attending any meeting, where now it's okay, this is how it should be done, this is how things are done, and all. Let's make it even simpler. Imagine a young Nigerian graduate, fresh out of school, 20-something-year-old, no wife, no child, no debt, no, very healthy, hale and healthy, young and healthy, educated. But somehow he already feels behind life. Why? Behind who particularly? Compared to what? Compared to who? A few decades ago, that same person believes that he has a whole lot of future ahead of him, like he has a very bright future. Let him just finish school and all. But today, he opens Instagram after graduation. His mate just bought a Benz. Another is relocating abroad. Another is getting married. Another is posting in front of his mansion. My first start at 19 or at 21. Another is talking about making 10 million naira through forest or whatever thing. Suddenly, a life that is actually progressing, or that was actually progressing, begins to feel like a failure. Nothing changed, simply exposure. Now think about wedding. There was a time when families simply gathered, celebrated. Today, some people will go into, it's not some people, most people go into debt for just that one day. Not because anyone forced them. People will say, okay, who forced you? Realistically speaking, nobody really forced them, but a lot of things. Extravagance has been seen as the new normal. It crept in. How and when did that decision happen? It happens by a lot of time, thousands of influences, of influencials, of movies, of normalized stuff that we've seen. Let's not even talk about politics, how a lot of things have been normalized. Okay, it is now the turn of this people. It has to be in this repetitive form. It is the turn of the northern people, now the turn of the southern people, here and there, and blah, blah, blah. Things that we've heard over and over again, WhatsApp groups, radio stations, social media, over and over again. So it kept on like that until eventually the idea no longer feels like an opinion. It now feels like fact, like that is how it is. So it's no more, okay, initially it started, okay, people just dropping opinions, people just influencing, but now it's like, fact, that is how it should be. Let's talk about relationship. A young man that has been watching movies for years, scrolling through social media for years, and slowly they begin to have this expectation. What love actually looks like. A pandemic we actually face now. What marriage should look like. What happiness should look like. What success should look like. But in reality, when real life arrives, ordinary relationship feel disappointing. People feel inadequate. Ordinary life feels boring. The normal thing that lovers would do. Feel like, what are we even doing? Not because it is actually bad, but because expectation has programmed some endless exposure to fantasies. And here's the part that I found really, really crazy. Most influences doesn't happen through force. Nobody needs to hold a gun to your head. Nobody needs to brainwash you in a dark room. In fact, the most powerful influence is the one that you don't notice. And that is what influencers use. That is what movies, writers, directors use. They don't force you. It comes as a trend, as jokes, as memes, as music, as simple content, very harmless content, as harmless opinions, just like what I'm saying, just like this process. And if they have told you, okay, I want to change you, I want to do this, you would have put your guard up. It's just somebody wanted to preach to you. You have an expectation already. So you're already thinking. But imagine just watching movies simply. Imagine just listening to somebody on the internet simply. Imagine just simple stuff. If every successful person you saw online drove luxurious cars, it definitely will affect your definition of success. It will. So you see politicians, you see fraudsters, you see how they do their things, and you see how the society have accepted them. Whether we like it or not, it will affect your definition of definition of success, of what a successful life should be. Because we like to believe we are completely self-made thinkers, but many of these our strongest opinions aren't things that we chose ourselves. We didn't choose them. We absorb them. what we even call common sense is actually just common repetition. It's not common sense, simply common repetition, something you hear over and over again and it now becomes normal. So the new normal. That's the question I've been wrestling with. Not whether we are influenced, obviously. We are influenced. But who is influencing us, and which of our belief would survive? Which of your own belief will survive if everywhere become quiet and then you have to just think inward? You don't take things hook, line, and sinker. Each time you watch a movie, each time you go through the internet, you calm down to think about it. What is the aim of this person? Why is this person? Think. We're doing less of thinking and more of consuming, and that is where the problem is. Somebody said something recently. Not recently, I think it's what I've had even through content as well. People just hearing their opinion, that you'll be there sitting thinking about your life. You're very close to finding a solution, and boom, NEPA will bring lights. You charge your phone, you're back on the internet, or you're watching a movie or something, and then it means we actually stop thinking, and that is what it means. And it's actually very, very crazy. So we need to think more. Yeah, consume to be afloat of whatever, and then think. I'm just thinking out loud.